Hello, once again, Clone Fanatics. This is another awesome episode of Customizing the Clone Wars. And I am your host, as usual. My name is Chad Peak, otherwise known as Peak Obi-Wan from Peak Obi-Wan Custom Creations on Facebook. And I have my co-host with me, and he is from the Customs for the Kid blog spot. His name is Darth Daddy. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm kind of bummed that we're wrapping up season 2 so fast.
Yeah.
It went too
Guess
quick.
what? Yeah, we are right at the very end. We are at the season finale of season 2 of the Clone Wars, and that is called Lethal Trackdown. The original air date for that was April 30th, 2010. And good news, folks, if this is your first time in, there are 32 episodes prior to this that you can binge watch and enjoy. And this is episode 33, like we said. Or if I didn't say, it's episode 33. And what we do on our show is we talk about the Clone Wars, which is an amazing episode, or just an episodic series, right? That aired from 2010 to about 2013. And we do custom action figures along the way, just sharing our art with the world. Characters we wish they made, right? Hasbro, we wish Hasbro made.
Yeah, they made a lot, but pretty much after season 3, they didn't get to finish the collection off. The show kind of started winding down. George Lucas sold Star Wars, the franchise, the property, to Disney. And one of the unfortunate consequences of that was that a lot of the cool characters from the later seasons never got made. At the same time, a lot of the cool characters from the earlier seasons never got made, just because some of them were just one-off characters, and they may have touched our hearts enough where we're like, man, I would love to have an action figure of that character. And I think Chad and I got sick of saying that to ourselves, and we just got to the point where we were like, screw that, we're going to make it. And that's what we did. And basically what the focus of the show is, showing you all these action figures that we made, paying tribute to the Clone Wars TV series. And yeah, you get to come along for the ride and see what we made, and we'll share little tips, tricks, techniques we've used to create some of these characters. And yeah, welcome to Customizing the Clone Wars.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. That is a perfect example of what we do. And lots of shows, lots of shows. So maybe over the holidays, folks, go ahead and binge watch. You can find us on YouTube and various other places that we will discuss at the end of the episode. So we'll just get started. I usually read from the episode guide. Like usual, it says, R. Singh and Boba Fett threaten to kill their hostages if Mace Windu does not face Boba and give him the chance to avenge his father. Jedi Master Plo Koon, I never really knew it was Koon, but and Ahsoka hunt Aura and Boba down following a trail of evidence from Coruscant's underworld to Hondo Ohnaka's base on Florum, where the bounty hunters Aura, Boba, and Bosk are waiting. Very exciting episode, Lethal Trackdown. It is the end of the Boba Fett arc. It is the reason they call season 2 Rise of the Bounty Hunters. And we really get an awesome kind of backstory, don't we? Kind of, from Attack of the Clones, right? We left that kind of unsettled, right?
Yeah, you learn that there's some consequences of some of the things that happened in Attack of the Clones. One of those being is Boba having a deep-seated desire to exact revenge on Mace Windu for decapitating his father's head from his body. And he comes up with a plan, and he uses some old friends of his father's to help him do that. Some bounty hunters that almost took a mentorship role. And I thought that was kind of cool, just to see where Boba Fett learned his bounty hunting skills, and who were the people that brought taught him those things. And I thought it was really cool, the bounty hunters that they decided to choose to do that. Bosk being one of them, I thought was awesome. And then Aura Singh, who really in Phantom Menace, she was just like a 3-second character that caught everyone's attention. They ended up giving her a really cool backstory in the comic books, being the Padawan of Dark Woman, and she ended up breaking away and becoming a bounty hunter, and she took out many Jedi. She used to carry a briefcase with Jedi lightsabers.
Right.
But yeah, it was cool to see her come into the Clone Wars. They didn't really touch on any of those things. I think, in a sense, it turned out that Asajj Ventress kind of got her backstory a bit. Really hear anything about her being a Jedi on the Clone Wars. That's something that I think they maybe stole from the Aura Singh character, and they kind of gave that over to Asajj Ventress instead. But
right,
regardless, they still gave her a really cool story without having to mention anything about her being a Jedi. And yeah, we got it here. We got it in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, she plays a big role in the Clone Wars, doesn't she? Asajj Ventress, or not Ventress, but Aura Singh, right?
Both, really. Yeah, both did. But yeah, Aura Singh, she had a substantial part, and she, who is actually the wife of Kyle Newman, the director of Fanboys.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know. She does a great job. One of the things I love, one of the lines she says, she's like, "You signed on to kill Jedi." And when we first saw that, we would joke around all the time. You signed on to kill Jedi, you know. I love that line. You know, I don't know why, but it just she's really cool. But back to Boba Fett. He is awesome, and I hope we see him at some point, maybe in Rebels, or they give him something, a movie or something. I like where they took Boba Fett. A lot of people might not, but I really do. They started him out from scratch, and they're building his story from here on out. So
I thought it was cool that they actually used the actor from Attack of the Clones, who was a young boy at the time, to voice Boba Fett in the Clone Wars. I thought that was an awesome thing that they did.
Yeah,
Daniel Logan.
Yep, he's amazing too. Yeah, it's a great. He's a great voice actor there for the Boba Fett character, and
especially in this arc.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Because you have that vulnerability that you're seeing in him, and it definitely comes through in the voice acting.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. I will jump right into it here. And it says, "Revenge is a confession of pain." What do you think about that?
They go hand in hand.
Yeah. You know, you're definitely, when you want revenge for something, or you feel like you want revenge, it's because you're so angry and hurt, or maybe you felt vulnerable or something like that, or you're in pain. And I agree with that so much, that if somebody hurts you, you want to hurt them back, sometimes. And it was all business for the Jedi. He didn't even care. It was just like, that guy was a threat, I'm taking him out. I think in general, Jango Fett, he got in to weigh in over his head. You know what I'm saying? Not realizing what was going to happen now that he had a kid.
Yeah, I don't think he really absorbed what he signed on for. Even when he went, to Geonosis, I don't think he had any intention of fighting Jedi that day. I think he went there just saying like, "Hey, people are starting to ask questions, if anything."
Right.
And next thing you know, there's a bunch of Jedi showing up. There's a huge battle, and he gets his head cut off.
Yeah, I hear you. And this is just hearkening kind of back to the episode previous, R2 Come Home, where Mace and Anakin were trapped in a downed Jedi Star Cruiser, and there is half of the Jango helmet that had a bomb in it, and it blew up. It blew up that room. There's no way they would have made it from that room. I'm sorry. I just don't think they would have. They must have pushed.
Unless they used the force to kind of shield themselves and kind of keep some
push
distance
the blast
between
back.
what was coming at them, and
Yeah.
that's
The way it
that's the only
looked.
thing I could see.
Yeah, the way it looked like that whole room blew up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we saw that they had to get out of that Jedi Star Cruiser, and they eventually did. And here we see that they took their hostages with them, right? And Boba Fett started.
And unfortunately,
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
they use those hostages as leverage to try and get Mace Windu to show up and try to work a deal to free them, trade himself for the hostages.
Yeah, and Killian is good. This admiral, and he's like, I can see that you don't want to do this. Please let us go. And he's like, you don't know me, old man. I'm not like them. And he's like, I know you're a good soldier. And he's just being a rebellious kid. He's basically saying, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I like this picture here. This harkens back to like Attack of the Clones again. And you see,
it almost reminds me, the outfit he was wearing, he almost reminds me of Farm Boy Luke.
Yeah, or almost from Empire Strikes Back.
Not
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the medbay window.
Yeah. Kind of hard. It kind of pulls in all those different feelings. That's why I did a little screen cap of it. I really liked it. This is Anakin, and Mace Windu is in the room as well, and they're basically talking about how you don't take revenge and you don't go after the people because they caused a lot of trouble. That's not the Jedi way. And he's trying to remind Anakin of that. And Anakin's like, I really want to get going. I want to get this kid. He seems like he's a lot of trouble. And Ahsoka and Plo Koon bring in a message from them. They're basically trying to move it along a little bit further, and they're going to assassinate somebody on this hologram, basically. And it turns out to be pawns, and Boba can't do it. He just doesn't have the strength to do it. So, or Singh does it.
Yeah.
And look at that.
It's cool to see that Boba had some kind of a conscience.
Yeah.
In his youth, but
yeah, I think he was always eventually. I think he's going to be the guy who it's just all about the bounty. It's never personal. It's just business.
You do notice that later on in time, especially when is the name of the episode called Bounty, when they're on the train?
Yes. That is.
Yeah, he's definitely a lot more cold-hearted. Maybe some time in jail, like.
Yep.
Or actually, did he go to jail after that?
No, he goes to jail in this one. We'll get to
before.
it. We'll get to it. But they jettison Pons out into space. Poor Pons. He was such a cool trooper. We got him as a Toys R Us exclusive. Yeah. They made him. They also made this vehicle, man. I never got one of these. Did you get one?
I love that vehicle.
That's
one of my favorites from that Clone Wars line.
Yeah, it's really nice. I was bummed I didn't get one. I think I passed on it for some reason. I don't know why.
That was really difficult to get when it first came out.
Sure was.
And then maybe like a year later, they put these 2-packs out from Toys R Us that were like 2 ships for $20, and then that was showing up in that.
Wow.
But yeah, initially when it first got released, I think I ordered one from like. It could have been Big Bad Toy Store or Brian's Toys or Entertainment Earth, but that's how I got mine because I had pre-ordered and I was able to get it that way. But I remember it was feast or famine. I mean, you couldn't find it.
Yeah, I thought it was such a cool ship. And this is Plo Koon and Ahsoka, and they decide to go search for Boba Fett. And the thing is,
we got the version of Ahsoka too.
Yeah, we did. Well, she had a little bit more deco on her.
Yeah, on the parka
and whatnot. Yeah. So they decide that the best way to find him would be to search him out in the underworld or find out what's going on right here on Coruscant. You know what I'm saying? So they go down to. Do they go down to 1313, or is this before they establish that?
Oh, I remember him saying going down to the lower levels to the underworld.
The
It's the
underworld.
promo that piece that they use for Star Wars Underworld
Yeah, I
on
love
their
that.
podcast. Yeah,
Yeah, and his cloak is cool too. I wanted to make that, but I just didn't get it done in time. This
it's so intricate.
it is. But ultimately, you could use the hood that the figure comes with. You know,
Yeah, definitely. It's the
what?
rest of it, like from the neck down, where it gets like, holy cow, that's going to
Yeah.
be hard to make.
hmm And so they go and they start searching the underworld, right? And they pretty much have free reign, even though everybody else has tolls, right?
Yep.
You have to pay
You get one
it.
of those Jabba henchmen there in the back that we actually got as a Toys R Us exclusive as well.
Yeah, the Nick too. Yeah, and
Yep.
there's Taquito again, or is that Salud? I don't know. It's either one of them. The Rhodian there in front,
Yep.
but he's one of their token Rhodians they use, and another guy in here. This guy in back, that's Emmett Noloff.
Noah.
That's actually going to lead us
Yep.
into our first custom of the night. I've shown this guy before, but I thought I'd show him again. We thought it was kind of funny. After Mystery of a Thousand Moons, and he's like, we're all cursed, and he's saying doom and gloom. He
Oh
finally gets
yeah.
off. He finally gets off the planet, so it's actually cool to see him again. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Yeah. So this is my version of him. I've made two versions of him in the past, and the head. I haven't actually sculpted a head that's Clone Wars-esque. I've used just the standard. I believe, yeah, I believe it was either Tessic or maybe it was more of the swimming, uh,
Oh yeah,
the
it was the
Quarren.
one based off of the Tarkovsky series, but they actually made it in like a realistic form, and I
Yeah,
think it was the Build-A-Droid collection.
that's right, that's right. And I used his hands, of course, and I used different elements in here, some of the arms and whatnot. I have at times used parts from, say, like just regular Star Wars characters, not always utilizing just Clone Wars parts. It's really up to you how you want to make things go. Even his pants, I believe, were GI Joe style pants. As long as you can find a part that looks like the features that you want to put on it, I think they'll turn out how you like, or just work at it until you make it turn out how you like, right?
Yeah, and this is the second version because I own the first one.
Yeah, yeah, I love that one too. That one is awesome. Oh man, he's so cool. But during their search and everything, they realize that it's getting a little too rough for them. It's getting dangerous. And Castus, what is his character? Is he a Barada? I think he's like a Barada, or is that just a
I would say a
character?
Barada.
Yeah.
I would say a Barada.
Kind of the dog type guy. He says he wants out, and they basically call him a coward. So Aura Singh decides to go to the only place where she knows she probably will still succeed, and that is to Florum, where we go and see Hondo again. Are probably one of our favorite characters of the
Oh
series.
yeah, which what I thought was really cool is you find out that Aura and Hondo used to be an item.
Yeah, I mean, you're always finding out interesting things about these characters. We just came off of Rogue One just over the last few days, didn't we?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah. Well, we won't
I
talk
really
about
liked
it,
it.
but
No, I'll just say that I give it a thumbs up. Get out there, go see it.
yeah, get out there and
I
see
really
it.
enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
But like that, similar to that, you get little backstories, you get little things in addition to what we already have, and they just plot it all out for us, and it's great. So here we are in Florum. We're going down, and we're going to see Hondo basically, and this is going to lead us into our next custom. This was a really striking scene, wasn't it? When they originally put it out, because you had that weak way up there with that Mastiff, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I decided to go and make that character, and here he is. He's just basically a generic I'm just calling him Weak Way right now because some of them don't have names. There are specific ones that do. So I just thought I'd make this guy. And I did use a Shahan Alma from the, what is that pack called? Oh man, it was like the, what was that final
It's the one that
episode?
came with Robinino.
Yeah, yeah. But it came with the only other week.
Was that final episode called Bounty Hunter? No, it wasn't called Bounty
No,
Hunter.
no. No, it was something else. It was.
Yeah,
it was,
I don't remember either.
Drawing a blank right now, folks. Sorry about that.
It
But
happens.
there was only one other weak way body style that they made, and that's unfortunate because I'm going to be showing a bunch of weak ways tonight, and we were able to get a bunch of those eventually. And what we did is we kind of grind it down the helmet on Hondo, or we basically grind it down the beret that was on Shahan Alma. I believe this is a Shahan Alma character. Not sure if that's one of the ones you did. I think that's actually one of the ones that I did.
Okay.
Because you actually did some as well, didn't you? Tell us about that.
Yeah, when I ended up taking the beret off,
Yep.
I ended up sculpting the details that were absent or that were necessary to put in there. And then once I did that, instead of having to keep going back every time I wanted to make a weequay, I actually molded it with a product called the Lumelite HS3 High Strength 3.
Yeah.
You usually can get it like a Hobby Lobby. And yeah, from there, once I had the mold, I used some resin, liquid resin that when you mix part A and part B, within like 3 to 7 minutes, you have an exact duplicate of it that you could pop right out of there. It's plastic. You could throw it right onto a Shahan Alama body or a Hondo body,
Right.
and make the weequay that you want. Jason Laws, just so you know, I am still sending you some casts. I know you watch all the time,
Awesome.
and you're always commenting. You are getting some of those heads. My resin went bad. I am getting some more for Christmas as a gift, so that's why I haven't bought any. But after Christmas, I'll be able to pour. Anybody who's expecting resin casts from me, they are coming.
That's great. Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about it, guys. When you have just kind of a basic body like that one that I was sharing just a few minutes ago, you can all you really need to do is just pop a head on there, and just make some subtle changes to it. If you're looking at it here, I did some cuts in the shirt here, because some of them have kind of a cut up shirt. And then this was basically a repaint. I believe I used the Hondo arms for this guy, or
Yeah, it
maybe
looks it.
some other type of arm. But I also try to like grind on the arm just slightly to make it look like they're rough and they have those lines and wrinkles in the arm. So
Yep.
there you go. And basically, the Mastiff is just the same Mastiff that we've gotten so many times in the past, right?
Geonosians, then it came also with some Tusken Raiders.
Yeah.
But generally, those are the two figures you can get your Mastiffs from.
Yeah, I haven't actually taken the time to make this Mastiff. Look at that thing. Look at that. Look at those spikes coming off of it, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool to have kind of a Clone Wars-esque one, don't you think?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I'm going to show a character in a little bit that I really wanted a Clone Wars version of. So it'll be.
Elias made a version of a massive handler, but it didn't really appear. I don't know if it appeared in any episodes or if Elias just kind of made his own spin on a weequay.
Yeah.
And then added the massive later. I know when he did it so it would have the massive.
Yeah, like a fanfic kind of, but a pretty solid weequay. Yeah, I think it looked pretty good.
Yeah, I think when he did it, he ended up. I think it didn't have a harness. Here it is here, but he had to like make a harness for it. And I think he used they sell like leather like strapping and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was that he got it from like a Michaels or something, but you can see there like how he used the leather and kind of made his own harness with that leather strapping you bought at Michaels. So, and then there was some chain there, and he kind of just based on that. But from what I remember, I don't think I know there was one that had braids, but outside of that, I don't really remember.
Yeah.
That specific one being shown.
Yeah, and here is just a variety of different week ways. You can always get different ideas through screen capture and just finding different types of styles for the week way. They don't really stray too far from the similar look, or the same look. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or early on, it was later in the later episodes that we got more
unique looking pirates.
Yeah, and you'll see those too over time. But just for our basic pirates, you just get various ones, and this is a repeat character, Dagu Flask. He actually has a name. That's probably my favorite week way name is Dagu Flask.
That is a good one.
Yeah, it really is cool. He's great. He has that armor on. You see him dancing around somewhere down there. But this image I wanted to show you, they're actually watching two Quagian monkey lizards pick and pilf, fighting,
Clone Wars version of a cockfight.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. I haven't got around to that robot back there, but that's definitely on the list at some point.
Yeah, he'd be a fun one.
Yeah, there's another week way, just some various week ways that I've done. This one right here is my newest one, my newest week way. I basically took those shoulder pads and I cut the shoulder portion off, and then I cut it off.
That's a good idea.
In here, so it had kind of that look. If you look back here at the image, you see this guy right here to the far left.
Yeah.
See how he has those straps there?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah. So it's this same exact thing here. I just cut this portion off right here, and I cut the collar off, and then I basically cut off the shoulder pads. So that's the result that you get. Kind of looks pretty cool. And then
I like
also,
the way that looks.
Yeah, also another thing that you can do with these week ways, folks. Shahan Alma unfortunately comes with a robot arm. Well, I shouldn't say unfortunately. It's cool, but you miss that actual having just a normal arm. So if you have a bunch of them, or if you have a couple of them, you can actually take this arm right here and put it on the other side. You just have to find some kind of new hand. And you could do that with the upper portion.
The Quinlan Voss hands work really well for it.
Do they really?
Yeah, that's what I've used before.
Cool. And this is a repaint of Pilf, but this is a version of Pick that I did, or a Quagian monkey lizard. I just thought that was so cool. In place of parrots, they put them on. They put those on their shoulders. It's just so cool. And once again, this is the same thing. You're just seeing a couple of these heads are actually some of the heads that you actually made, and I definitely appreciate that. You have sent a couple to me. They're not painted, of course. I have painted them myself, but he makes these great. They're almost perfect. They're just slight flaws, right? Just little slight.
Yeah, like you can always build up a little under the eyes, I think, and thicken that out a bit.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I mean.
Yeah, I think they turned out pretty great. And back to the episode here, we see Aura Singh, and basically she's telling, she's revealing that, she was an old fling of Hondo, and Hondo's just the best, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
And he meets Boba for the first time and everything, and he basically commiserates with him for a moment. And here, before we go inside, we see the fight end, and we see Pick actually kill Pilf, or it seems like he kills him, right? You hear his neck snap. It's like, you're like, oh, man, there goes Pilf.
I think maybe he's just a chiropractor and giving him an adjustment, but.
Yeah. Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
it seemed pretty brutal at the time.
Yeah. And sometimes, I don't know how you feel. What is your opinion on um, realistic style hybrid Clone Wars stuff? Do you think that ever has a life again beyond those, those 3 clone troopers we got?
Um, I mean, it's hard to say. Like sometimes I feel like if we do get any more Clone Wars characters, unfortunately, it might be in the 6-inch scale.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know how many more we're gonna get after that Jedi Temple Guard.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think we're going to see any more from the Clone Wars. I think they steer away from prequel-based items, to be honest. But here is an example of my next custom that I'd like to share, and these are actually realistic style Coaguing monkey lizards of Pilf and Pick, and I use that original Salacious Crumb that came with the Ula. You remember that?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah. What I did is I
From that little
actually,
2-pack Power of the Force.
yeah, Power of
That
the
one?
Force,
Yep.
long time ago. What I did is I actually took the time to make the tails move, make the arms move. The legs don't move, but the heads move. I took the time to make the heads move and everything. Similar to what the one that came with 3PO, but I like these,
Yep.
yeah, because they were a little bit smaller. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know what you
And
think of
how
those.
did you go about articulating those parts?
Basically, I cut the pieces off, and the hands are actually hands from other people, from like either like a Princess Leia or something. And what I did is
Oh wow.
I cut 2 of the fingers off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's an actual hand, but it comes from somebody, maybe like a human or something like that. And what I did is I just glue it onto that arm. I literally cut the arms off of that static stale pose that monkey lizard had, and I
Yep.
literally put a peg and I drilled into the side of the body, and
Oh, okay.
I just stuffed the peg in there. Those arms can probably come off fairly easy. But if you wanted to, if you really wanted to take the time, you could take like a hand peg of some sort and really make it so it works. Just slightly drill into the side of the body and just pop a hand peg in there, and it would be solid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did something similar to make that Lerman back in season 1.
Nice, very good. Yeah, there's all kinds of things you can do with that peg technology. You know what I'm saying? I think that stuff is genius.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh man, I just can't say enough good things about the ball and peg and the peg um, items that they used for the vintage collection, for the Clone Wars collection, and even for some of the Legacy collection and whatnot. Just can't say enough good things about that type of stuff, and I wish we got more of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Man, did you see? I just watched a review by Fly Guy on the new Cassian Andor Black Series figure.
Yep.
Holy cow, did they pack so much articulation into there? It has the old like ball jointed wrists,
Uh-huh.
you know. It has even articulation at the top of the thigh. It has ball jointed hips, but then like even before you get to the knee, it has that articulation almost like a hinge joint in the thigh, like they do with the Marvel figures.
Yep.
Um, I mean, they packed it full of articulation beautifully. Like upper torso, there's articulation. I mean,
Yeah.
they did the last. I'm hoping it's not the last of what we get in 3 3/4 inch Black Series figures. I
It
don't
was
know if you saw.
the 3 3/4 inch version, right?
Yeah, I like you read that survey that Hasbro put out maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and it didn't look very promising for super articulated Black Series figures. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is their way of doing like the last hurrah and like let's go out with a bang. But
Mhm.
man, that Cassian Andor figure, I was really impressed with.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to get that one. I know he even has a gun that can go together,
Yeah,
just like the gun in the
Jyn
movie.
Erso's does as well, actually.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's great stuff. I can't wait to get it. Any details, any kind of nice features that they can put back into those really nice 3 3/4 inch scale figures. That's a win-win for them because they were doing it previous to this, and anybody that's kind of saying, "Oh, they never really did this before. This is brand new." That's just a straight up lie. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, they went years with giving us very beautiful,
Intricate. Yeah,
super articulated figures. I mean,
yeah,
that was around the time Eli started collecting, and
yeah.
that's what he was raised on. So
Mhm.
it's been hard for him to swallow the 5 POA because pretty much from his entire childhood he was playing with super articulated figures.
Yeah. Yeah, we won't get into a rant, folks. We're here
No, no,
to we're here, really here to lift up what Hasbro did. They gave us an amazing Clone Wars collection, and we'll talk about
did
it
they
more
ever?
on our recap show that we're going to be doing. But I'll get to that at the end of the episode. Let's just jump right back into it here for a moment. Um, let's see here. Whoops, sorry about that. Um, I was sharing my. I guess I would call them hybrid style Koegi and monkey lizards. I just basically made them look real, but as real as I could, right? They're so off the wall, right?
Yeah, they're fun. They were a nice addition.
Yeah, I really enjoyed those. I really thought that was a great idea. So they go into the bar, and what's funny is the Quagian monkey lizard's Pilf. Right after he gets strangled, he's back in the bar and he's just fine. He's doing just fine. And back to the story, Castus does want to leave, right? So he makes a long distance call to his buddy on Coruscant, of all things, and he basically lets somebody else, an outside party, know that what he was doing and how what he was doing out on Forum. And Aura Singh didn't like this at all, did she?
No.
Yeah. And
At the same time though, I think she was
yeah,
just she had an itchy trigger finger and she didn't like this guy and she was just looking for any little excuse to do what she did,
yeah.
in
And
my book.
of course, Hondo's gonna, he's gonna be the festive host. He's like, let's have some drinks. And here, this is gonna lead us to our next custom that I have, and this is GL917. Sometimes I call him the merchant droid. You call him, what do you call him? The Lego head?
The Lego heads, right?
The Lego head droid. He does have such a weird droid head, doesn't he? And I
Oh yeah,
decided to make this
actually had
guy.
asked you, did you use a Lego head? But then you told me you used the IG-86 Assassin Droid head, right?
I sure did. Yeah, I thought it turned out pretty good. Some of those elements on the face, I just used some of that banner material, to I cut out that shape and whatnot. And this is all Procreate here. It's not as perfectly angular as I think I'd like it to be, but I think it turned out pretty cool. Interesting
Yeah, it looks good.
droid for what he was. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
When I saw him, I thought he was really cool looking.
yeah. And Aura Singh, yeah,
And,
like you
and I'm not a
said.
big fan of Legos.
Oh yeah, I did. I thought that was so funny. He definitely looked like that. And we'll get to see him in season 3, and he actually has a speaking role and whatnot. So, and like you said just a few minutes ago, Aura Singh just didn't really like this guy. He was whiny and complaining, and even Boba Fett was like, "You didn't really do anything. I did everything in here, and you're complaining about this stuff." And like, he's just dead weight basically, and she makes him dead weight. She basically just puts a hole in his face. He's like smoking when he hits the ground, right?
Oh yeah.
And his little buddy is back there. Check that out. His buddy's back there checking it out too. He's like, oh
Watching the
boy.
whole thing happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's watching the whole thing happen. It's like, yikes. And going back, we see Plo Koon and Ahsoka. They have been searching just for answers and different things. And this is probably one of my favorite parts of the whole series because this is one of the best bars, in my opinion, comparable to even the legendary cantina in Star Wars, right? And they
they packed it full of aliens. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, and the music was, the music was awesome, and they had a Twi'lek dancer, and everybody seemed to be having a good time, but it was certainly a seedy dive, right? And this is going to lead us to my next custom. I'm just racing through the customs here, folks. This here is a Biff. Usually found in the cantina because he's a musician, right?
Yep.
Not tonight. He's drinking.
It's his night off.
Yeah. So, and I thought this was funny too. I thought I'd share really fast. I do have a picture of an Ithorian I did recently. Not one that looks like this, but he's comparable to it. But it's almost like he's sitting there waiting to get autographs or something. If you see here behind him. This is the little Easter egg that I have for the episode. He has a little poster right behind him, and he's just sitting at this table, like waiting for somebody to come over and get an autograph or something. I just thought that was hilarious. And there's an Ithorian. Check that out. I think he turned out pretty good. I used a how you train your dragon figure for the body because it's just so huge, It's difficult getting huge bodies, don't you think?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't think the toy industry likes thickness, you know what I'm saying?
Marvel's pretty good for putting out the bigger, thicker characters, but I think it's more because they really don't have a choice because some of the characters require that.
Yeah.
But that's probably one of the better areas, one of the better places to try and get some of those bigger body figures is some of those larger Marvel characters.
Right. And this character here is, he's pretty big. He's actually tall and huge. That's what I liked about the Ithorians in the Clone Wars. They were huge. They were big. They weren't just intricate and interesting. They were tall. They were just huge, and this guy is no exception. If you look at the arms there, I used, can you tell what those arms are by chance? It's a leg from Cato Parasiti.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that hilarious? Yeah, I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
This is kind of a whip right now. This is a work in progress. He's not completely finished. I don't have his paint job quite where I want it to be, but like I said many times, you can just use parts from pretty much anywhere. Even this lower calf here, I believe that's Fix-It. I used Fix-It and just molded the leg in there and then put lines on it and then drilled up into the leg to put another piece of articulation in there. But he's full of it. He's definitely full of articulation. And there's that picture once again, a little bit closer up. And that's going to lead us to my Biff. This is the first time reveal of the night. And I actually took the time to, like I said earlier in the show, with that Mastiff, I wanted to actually create a Biff head. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, is that the Obi-Wan body again?
It sure is. Actually, no, it's not.
Okay.
I take that back. It's not the Obi-Wan body again. This is a Count Dooku figure.
Oh, okay.
And I did use a portion of that Obi-Wan body, but it's underneath this shirt, okay. This long shirt. What I did is I took the lower tunic of the Obi-Wan body and I actually glued it to the Count Dooku torso. And then
underneath?
Yeah, and I applied it. I applied some Fix-It and some Procreate, and then just sanded it down and grinded it down till it was nice and smooth, so that he had like a nice long shirt. But as far as the arms go, I didn't do anything to those. Those are just painted Count Dooku arms, and then I added this neck piece here with a neck post, and that was the Obi-Wan neck. But the head is just pretty much from scratch. I made that head from scratch out of Procreate, and that's the gray stuff. And then if you can tell, the legs, the lower legs, they're the nice Mace Windu legs, but
oh, cool.
Minus the articulated pelvis, yeah. Mm-hmm. Just kind of from the calf down, kind of thing.
Yep.
And then yeah, I think he turned out pretty cool. I gave him a little clue horn there to symbolize the musician element of it. Maybe I'll show this character again if we ever.
He grabs that like when people are walking by, so they can see the poster and see him with the instrument in his mouth.
Right. I added a little backdrop there. I added some of the Cantina stuff, and much like Clone Wars, we're big fans of the Clone Wars. I adore the original trilogy too, and I think this is a staple. We got to have a new version of this guy for sure. In the original trilogy collection and whatnot. I'd really love to have one. Or a remade one that's super articulated, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, but Ahsoka and Plo Koon go into this bar, and basically they're taking a look around, and he reveals to her that she's not very subtle. That if she just closes her eyes and concentrates, and I think this was also what Tara Sunube told her as well, to just quiet your mind, quiet yourself.
Yeah, they say that she adopted too many of her master's traits, is I think what they said.
And she really utilizes this power really well, and she finds a way to listen to these people's conversations. Meanwhile, there's Plo Koon, just going to the bar, and he's basically saying, "I need some information." And he's like, "I don't need to give you any information." And he just pops his lightsaber on the bar, doesn't he? Right?
Yeah, he treats it like a badge.
Yeah, and he's like, "It's been a while since we." Yeah, he's like, "It's been a while since we've had one of you down here," and he's just for lack of a better word, badass. Yeah, I really like him. He's just really cool. You know what I'm saying? And here's Ahsoka listening, but apparently she listens in too closely to somebody, and she realizes it's that same Nautilin. And she's listening to other people, and you can actually see them in the back there. The Nautilin guy that Castus was talking to and his Weequay buddy. I guess they're like the Ponda Baba and Dr. Evazan of this bar, right?
Oh yeah, I love all the pinup posters behind them.
Oh yeah, me too, man. I love the pinup posters, and this is going to lead us to our next custom, yet another Weequay of this guy here, this nameless Weequay, and he is going to be my whip of the night. And the reason I'm calling it a whip is because I don't have all the details on him. I don't have any of the braids or like his buckle or anything. But before I go into it, the Nautilin guy, he pulls his knives out. He's like, they're basically getting into a scuffle with Ahsoka because you can't really.
They know she was overhearing their conversation and being nosy.
Being nosy, and he's basically like, "What are you reaching for?" Because she's going for a saber right away, and he's ready to. He's ready to scuffle. So the whole bar gets into it, and here he is. This is an example of that dude that's standing next to him. I'm going to change it to I'm going to give him the braids and everything hanging down. I'm going to give him the belt buckle, but he's kind of a work in progress still. I'll probably touch up his paint a little bit more. But like I was saying earlier, you can just use those same bodies, utilize those same bodies. And this is some of that banner material
Oh, nice.
That I added to them. They have kind of I don't know, like a suspender type of buckles kind of look. Most of the weekways have this look going, and I thought I'd add it to one or two of my group. How many weekways would you say that you have in your group so far?
Oh, geez, a good number. I mean, I have some of them that you made, and then the ones that we made. Most of the ones, I couldn't even tell you. Actually, I probably could. I think about it.
I would love to
Um,
hear, how many other people, have made just bunches of weekways, to have a pirate gang,
I don't think a lot of people have. I think you and me have kind of cornered the market on weekways. I haven't really seen a lot of people, mess with them, only because, I mean, you really have to go through that step of grinding down a head, and then if you make the mold, great.
Yeah, I hear you.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've made 9 so far, but I know that, let's see, 2 of them we gave away as a gift.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, 2 we gave away as a gift at one point.
Yeah. Wow.
For like another customizer, Wraith 9, for a birthday present at one point.
Nice. Very good.
But yeah, and then I guess if I count the ones that, so then that would leave me, I guess, with 7. But then I also have, let's see, 1, 2, 3,
Quite a bit.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably have 4 or 5 of yours. I have a really big pirate gang at home. I have.
Mine's starting to fill in too. I definitely have a fair amount. I wonder what happened to those guys. His group, his gang. I mean, now in Rebels, right? Hondo is basically
He's flying solo.
Yeah, he's just hanging out with Ugnaughts, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they said like, let's ditch the old man. You kind of wonder who all these weekways are following now, because
I wonder. Yeah,
I don't know how. There had to be some leader in the bunch that kind of jumped to the front.
yeah.
That would be kind of cool for them to address in Rebels. If, like, Hondo's hanging out with the Ghost crew and he comes across his old gang with a new leader, I would like to see that.
That would be cool. That would be cool. So here we are back in the bar, and Plo Koon turns around and he's like, "Don't mess with that girl, man. You want to start trouble with us? We are, we're gonna make trouble for you guys if you." He's just fearless, man. He's one of my favorite Jedi. This series really has just fleshed him out so well. From a non-speaking role to just a really awesome character.
Because of Dave Filoni, that's his favorite Jedi.
Exactly. That's why he's so cool, man. They put so much time into him and effort and everything, and just made him cool every step through the Clone Wars. He's just had so many cool moments, and so here we see the standoff, and they just basically back out of the bar. And she basically tells him, "I heard that there was a murder that Aura Singh had done, and it was on floor, or that she was on Florum." So they realize that now they have some direction, right? They have some direction, and they back out of the bar, like I said. And here we see them on Florum, and they're actually going to confront Boba Fett and Aura Singh, and they get in a tussle as well. A scuffle, a scuttle, and Aura Singh actually gets away, and they grab Boba Fett, right?
Yeah, and she kind of ditches him. She's like, "Yeah, if I try to rescue this kid, I'm gonna get caught too, so I'm out of here."
Yeah, and believe it or not, Hondo doesn't even want to get involved with this. He knows it's just going to be trouble, and it's almost amusing for him. He basically is like, "I just want to let you know we're not involved in any of this." So they get going, and she runs out, and she even knocks somebody off of one of the speeder bikes, and she takes off out into the desert or the flatlands, and she starts trying to get away, and Ahsoka pursues her, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and there are some cool scenes there, and we realize that Boba Fett tells them the directions and where they're at, where they're holding the hostages, and she basically finds out that Aura was just trying to lead her away from the group. And it turns out Ahsoka finally gets there, and what has happened is Ahsoka jumps onto the Slave One, and she cuts off one of the stabilizers, right?
Yep.
Right. And so we see it basically go off into the distance and crash. And this was definitely one of those controversies, if you will. When it goes back behind the rocks and blows up, we see this little piece right here. Can you see that? You see that? You see that little thing right there? I know that's just part of the explosion. But everybody saw that and they were like, oh man, that's Aura Singh jumping out of the ship, right? She's getting away for sure. There's no way she's not going to stay around.
I never heard that controversy.
Yeah. So many people had said that way back in the day. I mean, this was still 2010, so it's a long time ago. Eventually, they get free. We have the other two hostages, which are Killian and one of the clone officers, and they eventually are free, leaving them with Bosk and Boba Fett, right? Yeah, and they end up taking them back to Coruscant, and they go to jail. Like you were saying in the beginning, it was like, when does Boba Fett go to jail? Well, this is the time, and he must have been in there a while, at least half a year or maybe even a year, because he looked a little bit older, right? When we get back to him.
Yeah, he definitely had a hardened look when he came back.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot more mature. His face was a bit more angled. It wasn't as rounded and soft. His features were hardened.
Yeah, right. And we'll pick up with him, again later on. But I thought this was kind of anticlimactic, at the end, because he's just like, I'll never forgive you. And he's like, well, you just, you're going to have to.
Yeah.
And that is the end of that episode.
We have now wrapped up season 2.
Yes, that is the end of season 2, Rise of the Bounty Hunters. And that is going to lead us into our break. I believe we're going to be taking a break next week. For Christmas, basically. I think it would probably be good to, take some time to be with my family.
Hang out with your family. You don't need to see us.
Yeah, you don't need to see us, but if you want to, binge watch everything that you have not seen,
And especially the Zilla Beast episode. What's up, guys? Come on.
Yeah,
you've all watched every episode so far, but Zilla Beast. I mean, I didn't like the arm coming at the back out of that thing anyway, but come on. I mean, there's other cool stuff in the episode besides the Beast.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're hating on us because we didn't take it on. I mean, I would have loved to, but materials, time, money. I mean, I don't know.
That's a big.
That's the only episode that's not up to par with all the rest. I don't know what happened there.
I'm sure they'll get around to it. Hopefully, for all the people who are dedicated to the show, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. I know you're used to seeing us on Sunday night. We had kind of some technical difficulties last night.
Yeah, so I had to uninstall and reinstall Google Chrome this morning. Yeah, and actually, I almost had the same problem again today, but thankfully I was able to address it and got it up and going again.
But that's all good. We do appreciate you coming along with us, just discussing this stuff. And we are going to do a recap show probably
around the new year.
Yeah, right around the new year. We're going to do a recap show. We're going to talk about everything that we did and some of the highlights of Season 2, Rise of the Bounty Hunters. And we'll talk about what we're going to do for season 3 also, and we may even have some guests. We may not. We certainly.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out the details
Yeah.
of what we're putting together for you, but you know.
Yeah, we would certainly
we'll
love
have
your
something for you for sure.
feedback, and we're working to make this show great. I mean, we still have a long way to go, don't we?
Oh yeah, definitely. And while most of your shows on hiatus, you know, and while we're gone, I mean, I know all the shows I watch right now are taking a little break, so this is a good time to catch up on old episodes if you're new to the show.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff in there, a lot of great customs, and we'll definitely do more tips and how-tos and whips and whatnot. I got some great feedback last week from my brother-in-law, believe it or not. He's not really a big customizer or toy collector or anything, but he was like, you know, I really like when you guys do that how-to and you show step by step by step. So we're going to definitely do that also, and shout out to him. Thanks, Michael, for the tips, and we'll definitely we'll do that, you know, in the future. We'll show the way we go about our crazy hobby here, right?
Oh yeah, and for those people, I know I announced like many episodes ago that I was doing a Zero the Hut commission, and I promised you guys all that I would do a how to make Zero. It's probably like a half hour long. It's not something I would ever be able to do on the show just because there's so many steps involved. But I did just post the how to make Zero video on my website, thecustomsforthekid.blogspot.com. So if you do want to ever make a Zero, I know it's one of those figures that I get asked to make constantly. And I like this last one. I think the first one took me probably 24 hours. I think I cut it down to like 20 hours this time. But it's a lot of investment. I don't always have 20 hours to like, I'd love to mass produce Zeros for you guys, but I don't have that kind of time available. So I tried to at least share my whole process with you guys. So if you ever want to make your own Zero, follow the steps in there. I didn't give a lot of tips on sculpting because I don't have an art background. You want to learn how to sculpt, there's plenty of people on YouTube that'll give you sculpting instructionals, but I'll give you at least the steps of what I did to make it all happen.
Cool. Yeah, it's a great video. Where can we find that?
You can find it on this channel, on the Customs for the Kid channel on YouTube.
Cool.
And you could also find it on the Customs for the Kid blog, www.customsforthekid.blogspot.com. And I think it's the most recent post right now, but this video is going to be very soon.
Awesome. Well, that's our show, folks. Thanks again for coming along with us in season 2, and we're going to be going right into season 3 at some point, and it's going to be exciting, great to share our customs. When I am not here, you can find me on Facebook at Peak Obi-Wan Custom Creations or Clone Wars Custom Figures, and I also have an Instagram, and that's Peak Obi-Wan Custom Figures. And where can we find you?
You could find me over at the Customs for the Kid blog. From there, you can see all the action figures we made here at the Action Figure Index. You can just click on that image there. From there, if you ever just want to figure out everything you want to know about the blog, just go to take a tour. There's a video there, teach you everything you need to know about the blog. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Google+, and Pinterest. Yeah, and until next time, may the Force be with you.
Take care.
Good night, guys.